guitar's got that swing. Glasses clink, hear the ice cubes sing. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. There's Troy laughing with his gin and a grin, telling stories about where he's been. Boomer's got whiskey, he's loosening his tie, chasing dreams under a midday sky. The bartender knows us, he's mixing with flair. Every sip's a moment we're happy to share. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. The clock don't matter, we're lost in the vibe. Jazz in the air, feel the soul come alive. From martinis to bourbon, we're riding the wave. Stealing this hour, it's the freedom we crave. Sun's still shining, but we're in our zone. This bar's our shelter, our temporary home. One more round before the world calls us back. Savor the moment, keep the blues in the rack. We'll laugh and we'll toast till the afternoon fades. Memories made in these liquid escapades. Liquid lunch, pour it smooth, let it flow. Friends round the table where the good times grow. Raise a glass, let the worries slip away. Liquid lunch, we're living for today. So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun. Our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon. Chasing that jazz under the high noon.
Salut and welcome to the midpoint of the week, WTF Wednesday. Yeah, that's how I'm feeling today. WTF, I really am. Probably going to keep this one short. It was a rough night last night. Maybe I'll get into that a little bit more in a bit. Let me say hi to everyone that I see here, starting with Netter's Network. She's saying that she's in class until 12:30 for the rest of the week. Yes, because she is gainfully employed, unlike her bum YouTuber husband. But she does say like, share, subscribe, become a member, leave a comment, and gift a membership. That would really help a lot. I can't tell you how much that would help. WTF is Troy? Will Troy talk about today? Looking forward to finding out. Liquid Lunchers, have a great stream, my friends. Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to I always look forward to Big Al Presents Films with Friends, but this week is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Netter and I saw that in the theaters when it came out, and we've had the DVD for some time now, and looking forward to chatting about it with people that know Pride and Prejudice, that love zombies. I think it's going to be a lot of fun this Saturday. Jonathan Conroy says, "Hail all, smash the like button, enjoy the show." Yes, I really do hope that you do. Mark Melnikoff says, "Mech po, here I are, WTF Wednesday. My list is too long to fit here. Yeah, I hear you. By the way, Mark, I'm glad you were able to make it yesterday for the Blake 7 watch party. I knew you would like that because it was it was an episode that featured Servalan. I mean, not for nothing, but there is a novel that serves as a sequel to the series Blake 7, in which Servalan actually features as well. So at least she survives the show. Let's see here. Jonathan saying good afternoon. Yes, good afternoon to you as well. Joe's Atmosphere, drive by, like, and share. Hail Liquid Lunchers. Thank you, Joe's Atmosphere. Yes, he claims to be a drive by share, but I think he shares just about every stream. Put out a little kudo, cheers, attaboy, whatever you want to call it, to all the people on X. Not all the people, but the people on X that are so regular and frequent in sharing out the streams. I just appreciate you guys so much. I want to get as many eyes in here as we possibly can. 10 more hours to some time off from the dilithium mines, counting the seconds, minutes, and hours. I know how that is. That's my joke on Fridays for Liquid Lunch. I assume that's what people are doing at the end of their business day on Friday, counting down to the weekend. Yo, Joe, good to see you. Good to see you. Drive by? Troy, get down. Yes, I think that too every time I see drive by. Welcome, Lester San Jose. Skeptic Tank Obsessions. Talking about zombies, trailers for Marvel Zombies dropped, and it looks rad. The animation is good, and it's TVMA. Well, I should think it would have to be if they're basing it off the source material. That was some pretty grisly stuff. Blade is Moon Knight here, and Spidey fighting zombie Thanos. I'd love to know how that works. Love the trailer for it. Wow. Yeah, so anyway, it was a very, very late night last night. Don't know if you have ever considered this, but it's very difficult to fall asleep when it's too hot, and it was almost 80 degrees in the house, so I had to crank up the air conditioning, and then, you don't just crank up the air conditioning and go to bed, because it's going to be over an hour before the house cools down. So I did end up getting a chance to watch a movie last night. I'll probably share more about it on Sundays. I liked it. It was actually, there's a lot to make fun about with the movie. It was in some ways kind of terrible, but I kind of liked it for what it was. But what was important about it was that it featured Graham Greene, who just passed away. We'll be talking about him for sure on Sunday. That's why I bring it up. Stars Graham Greene. Well, it doesn't star Graham Greene. It's very much a supporting role, but he plays a vampire hunter, and it's actually I thought it was a really good movie. Very, very. Would you call it low budget? I don't know. I guess you'd call it a B film. The acting was mediocre, but the story was really interesting, and I just don't know what to make of it. It was, I'll just tell you, the movie was called V for Vengeance. Very difficult to look up information on because Google wants to ignore what you actually type and keep giving you stuff about V for Vendetta. And it's like, I know about V for Vendetta. That is not at all what I'm looking for, But anyway, it just felt like the kind of movie that implies there's either meant to be a series of these films, or it was meant to be a backdoor pilot for a TV series or something. It's really hard to say. But I couldn't find any information on any background about, the production behind it or anything. So that was a bit of a challenge. So yeah, I did not end up getting to bed until late last night. Cut open my hand too. I was going through some stuff I had in storage. Guys, just a tip, okay? If you put things into storage, things that you care about, things that you want preserved, old toys, collector's items, things that cannot be replaced, don't stack them. Don't put them in cardboard boxes and then stack a bunch of other cardboard boxes on top of them. Or worse yet, fabric boxes. Don't do that, okay? If you're going to do that, just save yourself the steps and just put it out at the curb and throw it all away, okay? It's one thing when things get ruined because of a flood or something like that. When it's ruined because of how it was just haphazardly stored, just forget about it. That's all I can say about that. Yeah, I'm having a really rough morning today. So any encouragement from you guys would really, really get me through it. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Anyway. So what, wait a minute, you guys are talking here. Where do we go? Drive-by, that may be difficult soon if the train I'm waiting for arrives soon. Yeah, I understand that. I see what you did there. And Curtis Selby, welcome. It's lunchtime for Curtis Selby as well. Good to see you. WTF is up with you. Welcome to Nate. Nate is going to be contributing a story to Friday's Last Call stream. He may have had a little bit of a close encounter, and I'm going to share that story with you on Friday. Love and peace to you as well, Curtis Selby. Thank you so much. Heavy-duty plastic totes for storage. Nothing else I will use. Menards has on sale often. Yeah, I mean, and, if you're going to, put a little tag on it that says what's in it, really pay attention to what's in the package. Don't just say stuff from the other room or stuff that was on the couch. That's not a very good cataloging system. So yeah, kind of struggling today. And I, not that this matters because it's not something that I stream or anything like that, but tonight is my D&D night. So I do have a game, tonight. That's why I don't stream on Wednesday nights usually, because it's usually my D&D night. And tomorrow, right after Liquid Lunch, anyone that wants to stay with me, I'm going to chauffeur you over to the Pop Culture Archivists, where I will be guesting again tomorrow. So anyway, that's tomorrow. Let's go ahead and get to... So if you read the description for tonight's stream, it says some stories won't die. And although I am encouraged that and we talked about this last week, I am encouraged that I do feel that the general public is, hopefully rolling some dice will help with the stress. Yeah, I really hope so myself. I do feel that the general public, the so-called normies, are starting to pick up on a lot of the things that we talk about here, the gaslighting that we get from the mainstream media, how there's very clearly an agenda other than entertaining in the entertainment industry. People are picking up on that, and they're starting to become more and more sensitive to it, which I don't necessarily see as a bad thing. And I have over 10,000 comics that I have to organize. Well, like I said, don't shove them in a box with a bunch of toys. Don't pile boxes on top of your comics. You know, found a bunch of my stuff was destroyed last night, and I'm not a happy camper, not at all. So anyway, let's get to this. This is another one of those. How do I put it? The same song, different tune, or something like that. You know, you start to get tired of it when it's played out, right? So let me bring this up. This comes to us from my favorite geek news outlet, or I guess geek news is probably not the way to say it in this case. It's entertainment news from that Park Place. Deadline tells audiences to shut up about Marvel crashing and burning at the summer box office. Well, I'm sorry, but, you know, reality does not care about your feelings. And reality is what a good news outlet is going to report on. So a good outlet wants to report the truth. A yellow journalism, you know, piece of trash is going to stand opposed to that. Looking at you, Deadline. So let's get into it. Hollywood promised that the summer of 2025 would be a big comeback. Bob Iger told Wall Street earlier this week that Marvel and Disney's film slate would be the strongest since 2019 in terms of summer box office. Analysts across the trades said the industry could finally hit a $4 billion summer, making the first real rebound since the 2020 lockdowns. The message was clear. After years of decline, Hollywood would deliver a box office season worth celebrating. Spoiler, that did not happen. Instead, the summer ended with a thud. The domestic total came in at about $3.53 billion, or $3.6 billion to $3.7 billion if you stretch through Labor Day. So, just to be clear, what they're referring to here is that there's an industry standard that the summer is measured up to Labor Day weekend. Labor Day weekend starts, you know, the after summer season, so to speak. Mark says, try storing 140 locomotives and over 1,000 HO freight and passenger cars. After a kitchen remodel, the old cabinets were repurposed. Plastic drawer units and boxes added to the train room. Well, it's just a question of, do you care enough about the things you're storing? Do you care enough about the person that they belong to? You know, that's the thing. You know, if not, just throw the crap out, right? I mean, if Julie just said, you know what, this stuff, I don't want it in my house anymore, just throw it out. Don't pretend that you care about it, and then, you know, stuff it into a box and squeeze it down as tight as you can so it's all crushed. Anyway, let me get back to it. Instead, the summer ended with a thud. The domestic total came in at about $3.53 billion. That's slightly higher than last year's disastrous summer, but still far below the expectations the industry itself set. Worse, it's billions short of the nearly $5 billion summer of 2019. In other words, we have not bounced back from the Wuhan flu, the benchmark that Hollywood continues to chase but can't seem to reach. And that's, maybe I'm getting ahead of them, but that's because they have more things going against them than just the Wuhan flu. If it was just lockdowns are over. They're a thing of the past. You could argue, yes, we lost traction, we lost momentum because people that had been going to the movies, got out of the habit of going to the movies. But the entertainment industry contributed to that with their stupid streaming model that clearly is a loser. And most of us knew this before they even tried it. Just saying. Yeah, and actually, I guess I'm kind of bearing the lead. Curtis jumps right to it. Hey, stupid fans. We inflated our prices on everything in the theme parks and on cruise lines. Cooked the books. If you fans can't appreciate those efforts, you're just, anti-everything people. Yeah, exactly. It's all your fault that our business is poorly managed and it's failing. That's exactly right. And how did Deadline, one of the biggest Hollywood trades, respond to this disappointment? By defending Marvel's Fantastic Four first steps and even telling audiences to shut up. Just shut up, you stupid fans. No film this summer carried more weight for Marvel than the Fantastic Four first steps. This was supposed to be the relaunch of Marvel's most iconic team, the project that would remind audiences why they fell in love with the MCU in the first place. Disney marketed it as a turning point, a return to form, after years of decline. Well, the only form that it returned to was, stunt casting, girl bossing, and straying far from the source material. In ways that the fans will not accept. And I've said it over and over and over again. If you have a franchise, you need the fans. There is no other audience but the fans. The fans might bring an additional audience, and it may build your audience, but you need the fans first, just as surely as you need a foundation to build a building on. It's just that simple. You don't start building walls and a ceiling on sand. You just don't. But the box office doesn't lie. Yes, the numbers don't care about your feelings. Fantastic Four earned about $500 million worldwide. That sounds like a lot of money, but again, worldwide. That's technically the highest grossing film in the franchise history, but that achievement only looks impressive because the bar was so low. Fox's 2005 Fantastic Four made $333 million. The 2007 sequel hit $301 million. And I would argue that those two Fantastic Four films weren't bad. They were okay. I think if they ruined any part of that, it was, some of it wasn't the best casting. Jessica Alba did her best, but she wasn't the best casting for that role. Michael Chiklis was perfect as the Thing. I'm forgetting that Welsh actor that played Mr. Fantastic. He was perfect. And you know what? The guy that went on to play Captain America as Johnny Storm, he was perfect too. They completely mischaracterized Dr. Doom. I like the actor who played him, but he was not the right casting. It would have been a good idea to either cast, an actor of European, or it's more specifically Eastern European, ancestry, or someone that could, affect that kind of an accent. That would have been good, but they did not do that, and they strayed very far from that particular character's origins. I digress. This isn't about historic representations of the Fantastic Four. The 2007 sequel hit $301 million. The ill-fated 2015 Fan 4 Stick collapsed with just $167 million. That was everything wrong with stunt casting. Race swapping, completely changing the very concept of the entire Fantastic Four. The fans absolutely rebelled against that one. Marvel topping those weak numbers at a time in which inflation is way up doesn't make this a comeback. In the context of the MCU, it's a flop. At its peak, Marvel delivered multiple billion-dollar blockbusters every year. Just last summer, Deadpool vs. Wolverine smashed past $1.3 billion. Comparing to that, Fantastic Four barely moved the needle. Rather than acknowledge that truth, because why would a news outlet report the truth? Deadline rushed to defend Marvel. Their box office wrap-up included this astonishing line. In addition, Fantastic Four First Steps, at $500 million worldwide, is the highest grossing ever for that franchise. We just talked about that. So shut up when it comes to superheroitis. The reality check is that there is an arguable and it is arguable. In fact, it's easily arguable. Box office ceiling to certain pieces of IP. Batman and Spider-Man will always gross more than Superman. I disagree. I just feel that people have been mismanaging Superman and can't do anything but Batman and Spider-Man. Not to mention the more FOMO fever surrounding a title, the better. Hence, one of the reasons why Superman outgrossed Fantastic Four. Yeah, because we've learned that there is no FOMO in Marvel anymore. They had that when people actually were excited about a team-up film coming up and you wanted to see all the chapters leading up to it. But they have proven that since Endgame, actually since slightly before Endgame, time and time again, nothing that you watch matters. You know, it doesn't matter whether you saw it or not. So there is no FOMO. Plus, the way they've managed their streaming services. You know what? I don't need to see this. I can catch it anytime I want on streaming. If I want to see it. If I care about seeing it at all. This isn't neutral reporting. This is a trade outlet literally scolding audiences for daring to point out Marvel's decline. And they're not just scolding the fans. They are now scolding the average moviegoer. And people are taking notice. They're starting to go, yeah, well, screw you. Instead of grappling with the reality that $500 million is underwhelming by MCU standards, Deadline waved it away, told you to shut up and move on. That line is more than a throwaway comment. It's an admission that Hollywood's press corps sees its job as protecting the studios, not reporting honestly about them. That's exactly what has happened to the entire media industry lately. And it's why, MSNBC, doesn't exist anymore. Let's be honest about that. The defense of Fantastic Four is just one piece of a larger pattern. Across the industry, this summer's numbers were treated as a win simply because they weren't as bad as 2024. They were only marginally better. But by the standards Hollywood set, this is another weak season. The industry promised $4 billion. It fell short. Bob Iger said Disney's lineup was as strong as 2019. It wasn't. The summer total for 3.5 to 3.7 billion is better than last year, but still nowhere close to pre-lockdown levels. That's just the truth. And no, we're not going to shut up about the truth. By any honest measure, this summer failed to deliver the rebound audience and investors that investors were promised. Yet, instead of holding the industry accountable, the trades shifted the goalposts. Slightly better than last year suddenly became good enough, and good enough was redefined as good. Bob Iger was the one who raised expectations. He told investors earlier this year that Disney's film slate was as strong as anything since 2019. Deadline and the rest of Hollywood press ran with that claim. I'll give them that's appropriate. If that's what Bob Iger said and you're a news outlet, you need to report on what Bob Iger said. Doesn't mean you run cover for him. Just, this is what Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, has said in the earnings call. Fine. Let's see. Deadline and the rest of the Hollywood, ran with that claim, framing 2025 as the year theaters would roar back to life. See, that's the problem. If you just report the news and you just give the facts, the fact that Iger said it is the fact that Iger said it. But they clearly coached it as, oh, and it's going to be the best thing ever. But when the summer came and went without a swell of billion-dollar breakouts, the narrative changed. The same trades that amplified Iger's boasts are now ignoring them, acting as if the promise was never made. This isn't journalism. That's running cover for a CEO who didn't deliver. At the core of all that is a fundamental truth, audiences are tired of being talked down to, like I said. They've sat through years of underwhelming summer box office Marvel movies, endless reboots, and inflated promises. They know when a film is a hit and when it isn't. There were some people that liked this Fantastic Four movie, but there's a lot of fans that didn't. Let's be very clear. You are an average movie-going popcorn eater, that's wonderful. But you're not the one that's going to be hyped about it, go to the next Marvel movie, buy the toys, dress up in costume. And those things matter. Those are the things where the company, what is it? Merchandising, where the real money for the movie is made. And if that doesn't happen, the movie sinks or swims on its box office. And it sank on its box office. When Hollywood Trades tells them to shut up, it doesn't change their experience at the box office. It only reinforces the idea that the industry and its press are completely out of touch with the people they're supposed to serve. The summer of 2025 was supposed to be a rebound. It wasn't. Marvel thought Fantastic Four was supposed to make a big summer box office comeback. It didn't. And instead of owning up to those failures, Hollywood's press corps decided to spin, excuse, and even scold their readers. Deadline's shut up moment is the clearest sign yet that Hollywood is more interested in protecting its machine than in reporting the truth. But audiences don't need Deadline to tell them what to think. They can see the empty seats. They can see the gap between billion-dollar promises and $500 results. And no amount of spin will make them believe that failure is success. Also, I do believe that Marvin Montanaro is too humble to say this himself, but the other thing that audiences don't need Deadline to tell them the truth, because we have outlets like that Park Place. So, just saying. Guys, I'm gonna run those promos. I'm a bit late, and then we'll get back to your comments in just under 3 minutes. Seriously, I'm going to. There we go.
You are watching Liquid Lunch, streaming every weekday at noon Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Let's sip together.
It's Thursday night, and Netters Network talks to the streamers who have everybody talking. It's Thursday Things, Thursdays at 9 Central, 10 Eastern on Netters Network.
This week on Saturday Night at the Movies, 5 sisters in 19th century England must cope with the pressures to marry while protecting themselves from a growing population of zombies. Slay with pride, kill with prejudice. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. This week on Big Al Presents Films with Friends. Saturday at 9 Central, 10 Eastern.
Every Sunday evening, Aged Boomer and Papa Pacelli bring you the rundown of the week's geek news, or at least what they think is interesting. You may have heard about it somewhere else, but Boomer and Pacelli put a spin on it you likely won't hear anywhere else. It's Geeky Geezers, every Sunday evening at 8 Central, 9 Eastern.
Dive into the eerie, surreal world of Twin Peaks with us every Tuesday. Join passionate superfans as we unravel mysteries, decode Lynchian symbolism, and sip some damn fine coffee together. Whether you're a Black Lodge veteran or a curious newcomer, our live discussions on YouTube and X will keep you hooked. Come join the conversation. Who killed Laura Palmer? Let's find out together on Deleted Scenes and Affiliates every Tuesday evening at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern.
A killer robot, the final creation of Ensor's prize pupil Muller, is on the rampage in the base. Intent on total control of the universe, it needs Aurak to fulfill its destiny, as well as victims' heads for some reason. With Aurak and Slave working against them, can the Scorpio crew liberate themselves from this murderous headhunter? This Tuesday on Last Call presents Blake's 7, 10 p.m. Central, 11 Eastern.
We now return to our liquid lunch.
Curtis says, it's been a minute or two since I spent any money on Disney. Yeah, I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you there, absolutely. At least, he goes on to say, at least since the pandemic. Yes, exactly. Mark Malenkoff, yep, there's quite a conversation between myself and the lady of the house when I canceled them off our cable. Yeah, there is nothing out there on the streaming services that you can't find in other locations, other places, Army Hardies. Just saying, if you need help with that, just let me know offline. I did watch Deadpool and Wolverine, but I was wearing an eye patch. See what I'm talking about? That's exactly what I'm talking about. There you go. Yeah, I haven't even gotten around to that myself. I don't understand how Hollywood's of God, how I got started. Hollywood became the entertainment giant by showing people escapism. People in the days of the Great Depression would go to the movies to escape everyday life. Hollywood star making movies about everyday life and the things people wanted to get away from. This is why they're losing money. Yeah. There was always a little bit of elitism in the entertainment industry, but by and large, most of the people that made films, especially the writers, they understood the human condition. A good storyteller does, right? So you know what stories resonate with people. And modern storytellers, the modern entertainment industry, has completely lost touch with the rest of the world. That's partly because they live in ivory towers. It's partly because their only experience with the world is through, the screens, through social media, which is an echo chamber for their own personal ideologies. They have no idea what middle America looks like. One of the things I heard a lot of people complaining about in regards to the Superman movie was the depiction of the Kents as these, yokel buffoons. And I get that. I understood that Gunn wanted to show the salt of the earth, but didn't know what the salt of the earth looked like. You know, he understands what resonates, but he doesn't know how to execute it. That's like on the good side of it. On the other side, you have people that aren't even trying to make a good faith effort to depict people in a positive light. They're literally trying to belittle the regular person, which is the person you want buying your tickets. That's not a good idea. That's not a good business model. That's like, come buy our overpriced, expensive coffee. With every cup of coffee, you get a punch in the face. That's going to be a great marketing strategy. Let's see. Iger was too busy having circle jerks. Yeah. Well, it's more like he's standing there, on a pedestal, expecting everyone to come kiss his feet, and unfortunately, people are. In truth, the highest rank any character of my. Oh, you're talking about role playing. That's cool. Orville Nation, welcome. Good to see you, my friend. PJ of Orville Nation, together we grow, with some good suggestions for Netter's Thursday Things. A good potential interview if she can line it up. I tagged her on that on X. Yes, absolutely. Bush McFadden, haven't seen you in a long time. Hey there, people. Hey, Bush McFadden. Good to see you, my friend. And everybody, please remember to hit that like button. It would really encourage me today, above all. The Horror King says, hi, Troy. Welcome, Horror King. Good to see you. Yeah. There's a phrase to better reflect the world we live in. They do this to fantasy movies and TV shows, and it doesn't reflect our world. It reflects their ideology. Yeah, that's exactly it. Here's the other thing too. And this is why I really should avoid arguing with morons that I don't even know or care about online, but I get sucked in every time. These same people that keep saying, well, Star Trek was always woke. It was always woke. It was always topical. It was always... There is a huge difference between presenting a problem you perceive in the world in an honest way and allowing people to, explore that from multiple different angles objectively, right? And couching it in a fictional setting and making the decision yourself how everyone should see it and then purposely misrepresenting it in the form of propaganda. Those are two very different things, and they are not both progressive, so to speak. The ideology, the propaganda, that's woke, right? True classical liberalism is more objective, more rational, more intelligent. There is a big difference. Hope you are having a wonderful day. Yes, absolutely. And hello to everyone else in the stream. Thank you so much for encouraging each other. That is very, very important. I do want to start winding this down. I've got stuff that I have to do, stuff that I have to address, a wound I need to attend to, and get ready for my D&D game tonight. So, guys, I want to thank you all for helping me through the hump day and encouraging me just by coming and hanging out and liking and sharing, subscribing if you haven't already. Well, I'm sorry. I've already been going since for the past 50 minutes. I'm only ending it 10 minutes early. Here's the deal. Yes, Marvel added a touch of realism that spoke to people, but the whole comic was not about Peter transitioning while trying to pay the bills. Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. Marvel as a comic always had a touch of realism, right? It was, how did they put it? The world of Marvel is supposed to be the world outside your window, you know? So that's why it was always set in like real places like New York and so forth. But live stream your D&D games. We've talked about that. Unfortunately, it wouldn't work like Critical Role or something like that, right? Keeping in mind that those so-called reality shows are 100% scripted. Our D&D games tend to be, you know, like 50 to 65%, you know, us just catching up on the week, talking politics and entertainment, and then getting a few rolls in and getting a battle done. You know, that's about it. It would not make for great D&D content. Be careful with sharp objects, Captain Ton. Otherwise, you have to enroll in the safety classes. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. But I am not a Klingon who identifies as a Romulan and therefore insane enough to go and start, wasting people with my botlet. So I'm not that much of a danger. Anyway, guys, I am going to wrap it up at that. And I thank you guys so much for coming, sharing your lunchtime with me. Liquid lunch is always better with liquid, but it's even better with friends. Folks, drink responsibly. Get back to work, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.
Goodbye. Hope to see you again real soon.
So here's to the daylight, the drinks and the fun, our liquid lunch, till the next one comes. With a wink and a smile, we'll be back real soon, chasing that jazz under the high noon.